Welcome to the Straight to Jail podcast, written and produced by Brian Herring. Chapter 23, The Docks. The docks stretched out like a wasteland of steel and shadows. Massive shipping containers loomed like silent giants stacked high under flickering floodlights. A low fog rolled in off the water, curling around the concrete and muffling every sound. It felt like the perfect place for a ghost story or a massacre. Johnny, Kyle, and Tony crouched behind a rusted stack of crates, peering out at the scene ahead. At least a dozen of the broker's men were scattered across the lot, armed to the teeth, guarding the cargo Ramirez had spilled about. The shipment was being unloaded, crates hauled from the cargo hold of a freighter to a convoy of waiting trucks. Luis Santos wasn't hard to spot. He stood at the center of it all, barking orders like a general, his slick-back hair catching the light. Johnny thought it was a bit odd Santos lead them to his exact location. He also wondered where the broker was hidden.
That's our guy.
Johnny whispered, checking his Glock.
Santos doesn't leave here alive. Are we all clear on that?
Tony nodded, loading a fresh magazine.
Crystal.
Kyle grinned from ear to ear across the way, his sunglasses still inexplicably on despite the darkness. He lit a cigarette, took a long drag, and flicked it away.
And clear since day one, Johnny boy. Let's send these bastards straight to hell.
Johnny shot him a look.
If you get reckless out here, you're on your own.
Yeah. You're no fun.
Kyle said into the calm, cracking his knuckles.
Let's go get me some revenge.
The plan was simple, or as simple as anything could be when facing down overwhelming odds. Tony would find a perch to provide overwatch while Johnny and Kyle slipped into the chaos, dismantling the broker's operation piece by bloody piece. Johnny crept through the shadows, staying low as he darted from one container to the next. Kyle, of course, was less subtle. He moved quickly, his revolver in one hand, a switchblade in the other, humming some off-key tune to himself as they advanced.
Why is he humming like that? It's throwing me off.
Tony muttered through their earpieces.
Just ignore him.
Johnny replied. Tony's voice crackled back.
All right, I'm in position. You got 2 guards by the trucks, another 4 by the freighter's loading ramp, and Santos is pacing near the center like he owns the damn place. This is obviously a setup. There's no way he's leading us to him like this.
He's about to lose his lease.
Kyle stated confidently. Johnny held up a fist, signaling Kyle to hold. He raised his gun, sighting one of the guards by the trucks. A soft pop from Tony's rifle dropped the first man. The second barely had time to react before Johnny fired, silencing him with a clean shot to the chest.
2 down.
Tony confirmed.
Move.
Johnny and Kyle moved quickly. They weaved between crates, cutting through the maze of steel until they reached the center of the docks. From here, the floodlights cast deep shadows that danced over the bodies of Santos's men as they hustled to load the trucks. Kyle grinned like a kid on Christmas morning.
Showtime.
He stepped out into the open and fired his revolver into the air, a sharp crack cutting through the noise of the loading operation.
Hey, Santos!
Kyle yelled, blowing their cover.
Remember me, you slimy bastard?
The docks erupted into chaos. Santos spun around, his face twisting in rage and panic. Men shouted orders, guns were drawn, and the air filled with the hiss and whine of bullets.
Kyle, what the hell are you doing?
Johnny shouted, taking cover behind a container as bullets chewed through the steel.
Drawing fire.
Kyle said, ducking behind a forklift with a wild grin.
You're welcome.
You gonna get yourself killed.
Tony said through their earpieces.
Nah, I'm bulletproof. Remember?
Kyle responded, reloading his revolver. Johnny ground his teeth, moving through the firefight with precision. He popped up from cover, dropping 2 men with quick, efficient shots before disappearing again. Tony's rifle cracked overhead, picking off guards who thought they could outflank them. Kyle, meanwhile, was in his element. He darted between cover like a madman, firing wildly and shouting insults as he went.
Is that the best you got? You shoot like my grandmother, and she's been dead for years.
Johnny's focus was locked on Santos, who was bolting for the nearest truck.
He's running.
Tony called out.
Johnny, you gotta move.
Johnny sprinted from cover, weaving through the hail of gunfire. Santos was climbing into the cab of the truck when Johnny reached him. He grabbed the door, yanking it open, and dragged Santos out, slamming him to the ground. Santos coughed, blood on his lips as he glared up at Johnny.
Do you think killing me is going to change anything?
This isn't about changing anything.
Johnny growled, leveling his gun at Santos's chest.
This is about finishing it.
Before Santos could say another word, Kyle appeared, his face flushed and breathing hard.
Hold up, Johnny. Let me do this.
Johnny glanced at him, his expression unreadable. Kyle stepped forward, crouching down to meet Santos's terrified gaze.
You remember me, don't you, Santos? You guys left me bleeding out like a dog, thinking I wouldn't make it. But I did. And now it's your turn to see what that feels like.
Santos opened his mouth to respond, but Kyle didn't give him the chance. He fired his revolver once, the shot echoing across the docks. Santos slumped back, his eyes glassy and lifeless. For a moment, everything was still. Tony's voice crackled through their earpieces.
You got him?
Johnny nodded slowly, though no one could see it.
It's done.
Kyle stood up, staring down at Santos's body. His hands were shaking, but his face held a strange calm. He lit a cigarette, his grin returning as he exhaled.
Told you I couldn't be killed.
Johnny opened his mouth to respond, but the wail of sirens cut him off. Red and blue lights flashed against the night sky, and the faint roar of engines grew louder.
Cops.
Tony confirmed.
You guys gotta get out of there.
Johnny swore under his breath.
They're already here. It's too late.
Kyle looked around, the realization hitting him.
How the hell did they know we were here?
Doesn't matter.
Johnny said. He pulled his gun and turned toward the approaching lights.
We're out of options.
The sound of tires screeching filled the air as police cars surrounded the docks, floodlights illuminating everything like it was broad daylight. Officers poured out, guns raised, shouting orders.
Put your hands up. Put them over your head. Let me see them.
Yo!
Mr. Police.
Drop the fucking gun!
Put your hands up.
Johnny lowered his gun, glancing at Kyle and Tony. They exchanged a look, one that carried the weight of everything they'd been through. Kyle sighed, flicking his cigarette away.
Well, shit.
Slowly, Johnny raised his hands. Kyle followed, grumbling under his breath.
You think they'll let me keep my sunglasses?
Kyle muttered as officers swarmed them.